Hey, good morning, Peninsula Grace family. Ross here. Our reading for this morning was in Exodus chapter 21, verses 12 through 32. But specifically, we're going to in on verse 17. And verse 17 was quoted by Jesus in Matthew chapter 15, which we read on Monday. And in verse 17, we see God through Moses command his people that whoever curses or speaks evil against his father or mother must be put to death. Now, this is obviously a weighty command, but it shows that the family order and structure is at the center of God's design for his people. But from the context, we can also know that this tells us that the way we speak about our parents reveals the worth that we attribute to God's design and his image. Yet, as central and weighty as this command was, it was conveniently ignored by those of Jesus' day. Uh, Yet, as always, Jesus is pressing into our hearts. He wants us to obey not just the outward forms of this command and human traditions built up around this command, but he wants us to obey the law from our hearts. So, a couple quick questions to help get at our hearts. Firstly, where are you harboring resentment toward your parents? What are things that you wish they would have done, but they didn't do? What are things that you wish they didn't do, but they did? Secondly, how has that resentment shaped the way you view them or speak about them? And then thirdly, how could the way that you speak about your parents or to them change? What could it look like not just to refrain from reviling them, but to proactively, positively honor them with your words? Now, I realize that not only is parenting and family at the heart of God's design and his intent, but it strikes at some very sensitive areas of our own hearts as well. There are ways that we've been sinned against by our parents. There's ways that we've sinned against our parents. And these sins lay at the core of who we are as humans. But know this, that whether your relationship with your parents is thriving or marked by shame and regret, the Lord is redeeming and restoring all of it. He is making what feels broken and ugly to be beautiful and whole. So cling to his redeeming, restorative work, exemplified and typified in the cross of Christ, where his blood was poured out for sinners like me, sinners like you, sinners like our parents, sinners like our children. And one last note before I leave, I want to highly recommend this book, The Storm-Tossed Family by Russell Moore. It's been hugely formative for me as I think about the family from a biblical, gospel-centered point of view, and I'll include a link to that on Amazon in the description below. But highly recommend that for each of you. That's it, guys. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you next time.